All right. We are on. We're on. I wanted you guys to hear this. You got to hear this. Matter of fact, let's switch it. Make this bigger. You guys got to hear this. All right. This is insane. That's all I'm saying. If you could like this, share this, put it out there. This is crazy. It's nuts.
So, watching biological men dominating real women in sports is moving America's opinion to defend biological women and Title IX. This is a losing issue for Democrats because America fully agrees we have to protect women's sports.
But I want to dive a little bit more deep.
Now, hold on. I want y'all to listen to this. You heard what MGT just said, right? Or MTG. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You heard what she just said. Now, listen to A.O.C. Listen to this.
Into why this issue targeting trans women in sports is particularly problematic, not just for trans girls, but for all of us. We're here today because there's a proposal here, and there's several proposals here to further marginalize trans women in sports. And I think about this all the time because trans people in the United States doesn't even exceed 1% of our population. And
yeah, we know that. And what you're trying to do is make it to where they do. All right. Number one, let me point that out. But keep listening.
Yet there is so many resources and energy and time dedicated to figuring out how we can more finely exclude them from our sports. And I thought, why so much effort and dedication on such a tiny portion of the U.S. population when?
Now, if that's the case, and it's such a tiny margin of our population, right? Why are you so dedicated into putting them in sports? Which, by the way, I don't mind if trans people want to play sports, but just play with your biological sex. That's the whole argument, okay? That's the whole argument. I'm going to leave it there because I want to keep rolling. But I want you guys to hear this. And if you haven't already, like this video, share this video. Share this video right now. Put it up on on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, share it to your Facebook for me. Please, I need this one to get out. This is the first real rant since I've been back. But let's keep listening to A.O.C.
And there virtually is no major issue that is precipitating. And started to realize that a lot of these proposals here involve invasion of privacy of all women. Ms. Goss-Graves.
Did you just hear that? It's an invasion of privacy to all women to not have trans people, biological men, play in biological women sports. It's an invasion. Let's keep going.
Can you tell us a little bit about what sex testing looks like for youth in states with trans athletic bans?
It's terrible. In some states, any individual could challenge whether someone is a girl enough to play.
No. Not girl enough. If they are a biological girl, okay? Not girl enough. Did you just hear that? Girl enough. No. Biologically, if you are a girl, you are a girl. Okay? And I see the comment that says I'm not on Facebook. The settings are messed up on Facebook. It's okay. If you could share that over there for me, I'd appreciate it, Miss Dawn. But are you hearing this, though? Are you guys hearing this? This is insane. This is insane.
In some states, it requires actual genital verification, which is shocking. And it's not as if they're.
And let me just stop you right there. You said there are some proposals. I mean, we've seen this in Ohio. There was a proposed ban on trans athletes that originally allowed for genital examinations on minors in order to quote unquote protect women. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, yes.
And so we're seeing here in this guise, under the guise of not only trying to further marginalize trans women and girls, we are talking about opening up all women and girls to genital examinations when they are underage.
That's right.
Potentially just because someone can point to someone and say, I don't think you're a girl.
That's correct.
And we're saying this in an environment of a post-Dobbs America where states are criminalizing access to abortion and want nothing more than.
Now you see what's going on, right? You see how she just transitioned. She's about to bring up all types of different issues. She's going to bring up the whole abortion issue, try to relate it. She's going to bring up race, try to relate it. You'll see. Just watch.
Data on women to figure out who's getting a menstrual cycle, who doesn't have one. And we're supposed to believe that this is going to make us better and safer.
Time out. I got to say this real quick. Anybody that wrestled in elementary school, middle school, right? I've wrestled. Or if you play football or basketball, you have to go and get a full body physical. Okay? You have to go and get a full body physical. They're not saying that the coach is going to say, hey, I don't think you're a girl. Come here, let me check you. That's not what's going on. What's going on is you have to go to the doctor, and the doctor is going to see if you're a boy. He's going to check you and see if you got any what's it called? The thing with the umbilical, the hernia. He's going to see if you got a hernia. He cups your balls, and then you cough, and then that's that. That's that. They're making it seem like, oh, the coaches are going to be in the school, and the coaches are going to be like, hey, come here, let me check you out, right? That's not how this is going. But I'm going to let it keep going.
I think not. And per usual, I don't believe we're sitting here in a panel of men that has actually thought about the biology and privacy consequences of all women, trans or cisgender here. Ms. Goss-Graves.
Trans or cisgender. Listen, man, we've fallen. We have fallen. Why can't it just be biological, born a woman, and, became whatever? I'm not even going to get, I'm going to get myself banned. Let's keep going.
In addition to that, are there certain groups more likely to face discrimination under these bans?
Here we go.
When it comes to, and what you were speaking to, particularly when it comes to Black women and girls?
Oh, here we go.
We have seen that there are examples of Black women who are even professional athletes whose bodies have been more examined and demonized. We've seen that with my fan favorite, Serena Williams, whose body is often talked about. That sort of challenging them for who they are, if it is codified into law, is something that we would expect to see more.
And this also deeply intersects with a secondary issue, which is racial bias in the medical field. When we have vast proportions of populations that have been studied and tested are not racially or otherwise identity-based representative of the broader US population. And so what gets determined as a norm oftentimes gets pegged to largely white populations that have been studied.
Now
and then Black women and girls are then further subject to marginalization. This has been in your experience and what you've seen as well, right?
That's correct.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So
no, all the time.
We're supposed to sit here on this side of the dais and to Ranking Member Lee's point, see a party that has voted against women's access to abortion, voted against our right, the Lilly Ledbetter Equal Pay Act, voted against the Violence Against Women Act, voted against our right to have access to contraception, and also doesn't even vote for equal funding, equitable funding in women's sports. And I'm supposed to believe that this is who's looking out for my best interests?
Not looking out for your best interests, Miss A.O.C. Not yours, but the kids. The kids. And women who are athletes. You're not an athlete, A.O.C. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Getting up here saying all this, man. Listen, name any women athlete that really takes pride in their sport, right? That does not, that they're okay. That they're okay with men. I'm sorry. Transgender women playing in their sports. You put any male, biological male, got to make sure my terminology is correct or I will get banned. Put a biological male up against a biological woman in any sport that they both compete in and see who wins. Put Michael Jordan in a wig, give him some titties, and let him get his thing chopped off and see if he don't smoke somebody else. Matter of fact, we'll use LeBron because he's still playing. Let's make LeBron LeBronda. And then let's see if LeBronda doesn't smoke anybody else in the WNBA. Come on, man. You got to be kidding me.
I think not. And to
Yeah,
that, I
me
yield
neither.
back.
Me neither.
Thank you. The chair now recognizes the
Very
gentleman.
thankful.
I can't believe we're here, though. I can't believe we're holding a hearing today. As a matter of fact, I can't believe many things. Today, we have something called gender affirming care in our country, which is really cutting off the body parts of people in order to make them feel like they're another gender, which is completely wrong. And this is something being pushed on
Mutilation.
kids, cutting off their breast, castrating them, which really will lead to lifelong debilitating conditions, physical conditions, and mental illness. Hopefully not suicide, but unfortunately that is the case. Reproductive health care has been mentioned here. Even the term reproductive justice, which is really capital punishment for innocent babies. There's nothing reproductive about abortion. It's murder. But one thing I'd like to talk about right now is the Gallup poll that was done in May of 2023. 69% say transgender athletes should play on teams that match their birth gender or biological sex. But guess what? That's actually gone up because the left is losing the battle. Because in 2020, May of 2020, the exact same Gallup poll was done, and it was only 62% that agreed that transgender athletes should play on teams that match their birth gender or biological sex.
Mm-hmm.
So watching biological men dominating real women in sports is moving America's opinion to defend biological women and
Yes.
Title IX. This is a losing issue for Democrats because America fully agrees we have to protect women's sports.
Yep.
Ms. Goss-Graves, in 2013, the National Women's Law Center tweeted, "What have sports meant to you or a girl you know?" Tweet it with the hashtag, and then you put the hashtag. You responded, "National Girls and Women in Sports Day, I'm grateful to tennis. It is my late night outlet that I still play 20 years after high school." Do you still play tennis, Ms. Goss-Graves?
Not well anymore. My knees struggle.
But it's a great sport, and it's
a great
always
sport.
fun.
Yes, I've enjoyed playing.
And you mentioned that you're a fan of Serena Williams. Is that right?
Big time.
I am. I'm a Williams sister fan. I'm a tennis fan. I'm actually a fan of most sports. I grew up playing sports and in a family that understood that there is so much value in playing sports, whether you're the best or not the best.
I'm sorry. I got a point I got to make. Could you imagine a world, right? Can you imagine a world where men get to play in women's sports? Let's take out the fact of whether they're transgender or not. Just a man inside of a woman's sport. Women, and this is no offense to women, I love women. Y'all know I love women, right? No woman would win an award ever again. They already had the transgendered swimmer cracking records. Do you hear me? This is insane. And anybody who thinks that it's okay to put biological men. Now, I might be a little more lenient on, say, elementary school. Elementary school, I understand that because, I wrestled. So I get it. If a girl wants to be on a wrestling team, she could be just as good as them young boys. You know why? Do you know why that little girl can be just as good as the young boys? Because they testosterone ain't kicked in yet. They haven't hit puberty. But once puberty sets in, guess what happens? That girl that was able to beat him in elementary school will never win again. She'll never win again. This is a fact. Okay? And a perfect example, I use my son. My son was on the wrestling team, and the little girl was on the opposite wrestling team. He had to wrestle the little girl. The little girl was amazing. This was like third grade, second grade, something like that. The little girl was cold. Her technique was impeccable. She was cold, and she beat my son. But now, my son got a little mustache growing in. He's all cut up, ripped. You know what I'm saying? He's a little mini me, right? And if he was to wrestle the same girl who now is a lot smaller than him, he would dominate her. He would dominate. So come on, we got to be real about this, man.
Yes.
I agree with you. And I'm a fan of Serena Williams too. I think she's strong. I think she's powerful. And I think she's beautiful. In 2013, Serena Williams stated, "If I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. No, it's true. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster and they serve harder, they hit harder.
X.
It's just a different game." So sounds like she doesn't think she could beat
Thank
men
you,
either.
Andrea. Appreciate that.
But let's talk about some of your comments. You said that this is attacking and dehumanizing on trans. Miss Goss Graves, how do you think Miss Gaines felt? Do you think she felt dehumanized being forced to undress in front of men in her sports or attacked?
On 100%.
Here's what I think.
That's a
about
yes or no question.
But
Answer the
if
question.
I could
Being
answer
forced to
this
undress
question,
in front of a
Madam
man,
Chairman,
isn't that
if
dehumanizing
I
or
could
attacking?
answer this question, Madam
Yeah.
Chairman, because I actually think this is really, really important. The issue of privacy in locker rooms and in bathrooms, there's a wide range of
So you
ways
feel like
for
Miss Gaines should have
schools
had privacy?
to address that. You could put up a curtain, you could put up a door, you could have rotations.
But why? Why do you need to put up a curtain if you're accepting that this person is now a woman? You're beating your own self. You're contradicting your own logic. If you're gonna accept it, accept it.
There are
I
so
reclaim
many
my time,
ways
Miss Goss Graves.
schools to
Miss
address
Gaines,
that,
did you
and
feel
what I
attacked and dehumanized? Miss Gaines, did you feel attacked and dehumanized?
I certainly did. And in swimming locker rooms, there are no curtains, there are no stalls, there are no doors.
But there
It is an-
could be curtains.
This
That-
is
that-
I reclaim my time. It's Miss Gaines right now.
Okay. That's enough of that. I had to come on here because I watched that video, man, and I was looking at my phone. I'm shaking my head. I'm like, this has got to be a joke. There's got to be a joke. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. This is what society has come to. I leave for 3 years and I come back, and then now it's just this big old thing of women sports being invaded by transgender women, biological men. And it's a problem that the women have a problem. It's a problem for the women that have a problem with people who are now women joining their sports, changing in front of them, losing, not being the best anymore. Why are we having this argument? And then we could go even further than that of saying in school sports, when a biological male goes through puberty, we get stronger, we get faster, we become more dominant, more aggressive. Women never do that. Women never become more aggressive, more, well, unless it's like Shark Week. No offense, women, but you know what I mean. Okay. This is insane. This is insane that this is what they're talking about over there in Washington. How is this even a debate? I don't get it. Oh, I'm so sick. I'm so sick of these politicians. I'm sick of it. I really am. I just wanted to come on here real quick and give my little opinion about that video that I just showed you. And I think it's disgraceful. I think it's distasteful and purely insane the way that we're headed in this country on so many different fronts. But this one really, really, really caught my attention right now because I don't understand how women, these were women. These weren't men talking about these issues. These were women. Women who might have, A.O.C. she is not an athlete. So you don't have a stake in the game. You're just a person that's trying to pass through legislation, voting on legislation to go through that will harm women athletes. It harms women athletes. It harms their mental health. It harms their security. I mean, it's not hard, but I guess you just can't explain some things to the left. To all you people that are watching that may be Democrat, my problem is not with you. It's not. It's the people that represent you, that have you buying into the nonsense. I love you all. You're on the ground with me. You're regular people. Please tell me you don't condone this nonsense. I know most of you don't, because I talk to a lot of people who are Democrats, and they don't even like this. This is strictly the politicians. So with that being said, I'm going to jump off here. All right, because I got another show to do. I hope you guys all show up for Truth to Set You Free tonight. It's going to be a good one. A lot of things to talk about. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Like this video, share this video, and ring that bell icon so you never miss another one. All right, this is going to start being a thing again. I'm back, baby, and I'm in full effect. So if you support me, thank you. Share this video out as many times as you possibly could and let everybody know that I'm free. I'm home and we're back at it. We're back to work. All right, I'm signing out. Unite, don't fight, be a street light, because only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart. Peace.